do, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. And as you might have seen from the description above, we have a new project. Yes, we have a new project. So, as you might have seen in my previous video, which is in the top right-hand corner now, we have a motorbike project. Now, I chose a motorbike project because there are a lot of YouTubers out there doing the same sort of thing as me, which is great because I really enjoy watching their content. But I've not actually seen someone, as of yet, do a motorbike. Now, I had to sell mine along with my 350Z, funnily enough, to be able to afford my house. But since money's got better and the house has been bought, I thought, why not do a motorbike? One, because we're in the middle of winter still, and I can have it in my garage, which can be a little bit more warmer, plus it will get ready for the summer. So my favorite type of bike is a cruiser. Now, I've had two of these type of bikes, and the one I've got at the moment was one I did have my eye on for quite some time, and I actually found one at the cheapest I've possibly seen one in the UK up to date. So, with no further ado, let's have a look at the motorbike. So here she is, guys. So, like I say, you might have seen from the previous video that she has been crash damaged. The forks are completely bent in from where I think the person who's tried, because it was basically written off because of vandalism. So what's happened is they've obviously tried to hotwire it, as you can see, because the cables here are hanging out. So the first thing I need to do really is rip that seat off and have a look, but I also do need to rip this tank off, because once they've realised they couldn't steal it, they've obviously just thrown it straight on the ground. The bars are shot back and put a massive hole in here. So I can't fire the bike up even if I wanted to, because as you can imagine, the bike's been sat at Copart for quite some time. And the last thing I want to do is be able to try and try and start the bike up and then water's got in, because I have no doubt that's been sat outside for quite some time and water's got into the tank. So if I do try to fire it up, all that's going to happen is water's going to get into the injectors, get into the engine, and then more likely going to go kaput. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to rip this off. We're going to have to clean it out. Luckily, I have ordered a new one and it is here. And we will put that on at some point, but I'm not going to put it on straight away because it is in primer. And I want to do, there's quite a lot of stuff that I want to do to this bike, guys. So there's going to be quite a lot of videos on it. So I hope you are going to enjoy these, this series of the VN900. So as you can see, it has also been broken and ripped out over here. The bar is bent on the foot peg just over here. Now, like I say, guys, the VN Custom and you've got a VN Classic. The Custom is this one. The Classic basically has spoked wheels. Now, what I do like about this one is the VN Custom 900 Custom comes with a solid rear wheel. Now, I would love to get a solid front wheel, but if not, what I am going to do is I'm going to try and find the Classic front wheel and stick it on. But like I say, guys, this is going to be turned into a bobber. Now, if you don't know what a bobber is, it is basically a single-seater bike. It looks a little bit like a rat bike, but we're not quite going down the look of obviously all rusted parts and things like that. It is going to be really, really spot on, this bike, and I can't wait to finish it off. I've already ordered a bobber kit, and that is actually here. So I've got the front and rear fenders. I've got to find a single-seat conversion for it. But before I do any of that sort of stuff, we've got to get the bike running, because I don't know if that engine is healthy or not. So the first thing we are going to do, guys, is we're going to take this seat off, like I said. We're going to have a look at this wiring. I think the battery is more than likely going to be dead, but I will put that on charge regardless. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically see if I can get the ignition working. If I can get the ignition working, at least I know that we're okay to try and start the bike. But like I say, this tank is going to have to come off. We're going to have to try put some clean fuel through to make sure that it is all safe and sound, because the last thing I want to do is obviously fire this bike up, water goes through, and I've got a new engine, because the bike might as well just go in the bin after that. So the first thing I am going to do, actually, before I put the seat off, is I want to straighten them bars out, because it is such a pig trying to turn it with them bars out like that. So let's crack on with them bars. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up. Well, that's fantastic news. I thought I might have had to change these because this was as loose as anything, and so were the bars. Now I'm going to change the bars anyway. So if you can see, they've got like spider web from, I think they've just been painted badly, or it is literally just, I don't know, I think they might be chrome underneath. I'm not too sure, but either way they're going to get changed because I don't like them anyway. But these were rattling and what have you. But I managed to move the bars back by undoing these four. But it's also held just under here on both sides. And what I've managed to do, as you saw, just literally nip them up, and it's not ripped the threads or anything like that. So that's an absolute bonus. So let's take off the seat. I think this is something to do with the lights. I could be wrong, only because of the fact it's going that way. So, but then you've got this here, which I reckon is the ECU, which, yeah, it's got to be. You've got these two cables here that have been broken. Now I've got to follow them because I don't know what they are, but I'm sure we'll figure these out very soon. But everything under here looks okay. If you look at this loom, this is supposed to be in there. So if I plug that back in, it should all work, but we shall see. But I'm not too worried about this. I still might be able to get the ignition on, but like I say, I'm not going to fire it up because, like I said, I don't actually think that whoever actually tried to rip this apart has made it. I think the battery just might be dead, personally. There you go. Let's put battery pack on it and see what happens. So a closer inspection of actually inside here. I've been trying to get the actual ignition to just turn to its ignition on style, but it won't on the key. So I've tried to follow the cables. I've noticed these that have been all cut off, and I found out they are actually to the ignition barrel. So I have found the bit on the loom. It's quite a stretch actually to it, which hopefully I can still connect them. I will probably buy some more cable of these colours to connect to them. But first of all, what I need to do is I need to take this battery out, because it doesn't matter regardless, because we ain't gonna get the ignition on. So that's the battery now on charge, which, to be fair, it was holding a charge anyway, so it did have some juice in it. But I've now taken the ignition barrel out, and as you can see, this one has been cut. This one looks like it's been pulled off, same as that one, and these other two in here are cut. Now, the other issue I've got is, and now it's not because of the fact that the barrel has been mewed by a screwdriver, but I don't think I've been given the right key. Even though it is a Kawasaki key, it don't turn in the lock. Now, I've also tried this key in the fuel tank. It don't work. It won't even slide in it. And then the only key that this one fits, and this one fits, is to pop the seat off. So it looks like what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to buy a whole new barrel, which, to be fair, I'd have to do anyway because this was mewed, and I need to buy a new fuel tank cap. So, which isn't a problem because I can just get a whole new bunch of keys. Because I remember looking on eBay, and you can buy a new barrel and a new cap in one with keys. So that's what I'm gonna have to do on that one.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, shit on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits coming.
So that's one good job done. I just realised actually I don't think I'm gonna need to blow any fuel through that. So this is the pump here, okay? So I reckon if there is any water in here, it's not gone past this. The reason I say that is because whoever intended to actually steal the bike, I don't think they've actually managed to start it. So them not being able to start the bike, if there was water in that tank, it's not gotten in past the fuel pump into the fuel line. So what sorry, let me get my words out properly. All I need to do is just basically put the new tank on, put fresh fuel in it, and then it will go straight through. So I don't think I need to worry about that. But what I will do is I will put something like V-power in for a tank, and then burn it all through that way. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to take this rear mudguard off, because one, it's going to come off anyway, so I might as well get it off now. Like I said, I'm not going to need any of this anymore, all this cabling. And already she's looking ace. Oh, yeah. Now, when I went to get my new fuel tank yesterday, I spoke to a chap that sold it to me, and now he's got a much bigger rear tyre on his. It's still exactly the same rim as mine, but he's got a 200. I'd say this one's a lot smaller. So if I did want to do it with the rear mudguard or fender, if you're American, I would more than likely gonna have to cut the bracket that holds the mudguard / fender on and extend it ever so slightly, and it will be about a couple of mil smaller, so the tyre will sit out a little bit, but it doesn't matter because you can end up running these without any sort of mudguards / fenders on front and back. But already it's looking sharp. Right, so I've been shopping. So as you can imagine, with all the wiring and stuff, I needed to get a few things. So I've got a soldering iron here. some cutters, some crimpers, some more pliers because I've lost mine, and a load of heat shrink. The only one thing I am missing right now is connectors. So luckily I've managed to buy, I think it's 1,000 connector bits, so at least I can do all the wiring on that. It won't be obviously the factory connectors, but it will still work and it will still be absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, they cut the loom really short here, which is a ball lake. So the idea is I'm going to cut these wires to here, and I'm going to solder these bits to there, heat shrink them, so I've got a lot longer line. Even though I've ordered a new lock, which is going to have more cable on it, it's just I'd rather have too much than not enough, because I can always wrap it on itself and cable tie it in place, and it'll look absolutely fine.
And I'll never get the throne back.
So there we go, guys, all heat shrinked up. Like I say, they're not the neatest of jobs, but they'll do. They're holding on tight. Like I say, the last time I did any form of soldering was back at school doing design and technology. And then obviously I'm going to wrap it up with this, and then yeah, obviously keep it attached to that again. So now at least we've got a lot more length on here compared to what we had before. And there we have it, guys. All of them are wrapped up for double measure to keep them safe. Like I say, we've got extra length now here for it. Just got to wait now for the new ignition, and then once we've got the new ignition, we can test to see if that engine is okay. And the way I'm going to do that is, obviously that is the fuel line leading in there. I'm just going to put a syringe in there with some fuel, pump it slowly in there and try and fire her up. She fires up and sounds good. Then the plan from that point is literally what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip it completely down, and I'm going to send the frame off to get sandblasted and repainted, because as you can see in here, it's starting to get service rust. So like I say, this isn't a problem because I'm going to be cutting this off from here and across there, because all this is going. Obviously this is the part of the rear the rear chassis of the bike, so at the end of the day I might as well just get it all redone. Like I say, this is just paint on here, but what I'm going to do is there's this paint you can buy that literally is really strong stuff. It won't be shiny like this, it'll have a strange sort of texture for it, but at the end of the day it's only the frame, so I'm not too worried. But that's all depending on if the bike actually runs. So fast forward to when I got the ignition. So guys, we finally have the new lock, which as you can see is exactly the same, but the keys are different, as in they don't have Kawasaki written on them, but it's exactly the same lock. And all I need to do is cut them off across here, and then put the new cable bits on here. These are the ones I was talking to you about. Like I say, they're a universal type. I realise I only need 5, so these are going to be the ones. And then I've got all the little bits there and these bits here. One thing I am going to say, guys, is I'm glad that I am now working on the bike, because it is -1 out there and I don't fancy working on the 350Z in this. So now let's connect them up together. Connect the battery. Fingers crossed. Now I'm only going to do this externally, so fingers crossed, go in. Go in like you should. You know you want to. Just get in there. Right, got the battery. So positive, negative. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, she's in. Fantastic. Oh, what am I talking about? Positive first. Come on, Nick. So fingers crossed, guys. Wish me luck. Here we go. Just don't blow up. Don't blow up. Okay guys, so I got it wrong. Like I say, I hate electrics. So I had these the wrong way around. So I had the pins coming out of this one when they should have been in this one, and vice versa. So they're all in now. I've obviously had to change a few of them around. Fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. Please. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Right, well that's a major plus side. It's showing it's got fuel, which it shouldn't do. No, it's going down. Fantastic. Good start. She's in neutral, which, well, she should have been anyway. Oh, the oil light's on. That's a good thing. Let me check the oil, guys. Be right back. So guys, I don't know if you can see just about there, it is completely black because the oil is in there. and it is fine. This is my new fuel tank, and I can't actually start the bike up how I thought I might without this on, because it needs pressure from the fuel tank for it to work. So first things first, we're gonna have to put all this in. So guys, a little update from what you just saw a minute ago. It has been a few days now, well, I'd say probably about a week actually, because the bike will not start. I've done everything. I've diagnosed, I've gone through all the wires and everything like that. I cannot figure out what it is. So there's only two options now. Basically, it's not getting a spark and it's not getting any fuel. So I've pulled the fuel pump out. I've lost count how many times now. And basically I rigged that up to straight to live and it didn't run. So we've got a new fuel pump. There's the pump itself. So I've got to strip that down and put it back together. At the same time, what I have done is I bought a new relay box. Now, what I mean by relay box is the fuel pump itself runs off of obviously a relay, as we all know, but it comes as a relay box with about 3 other relays attached. So you've got to buy the whole box. So I bought a second-hand one, brand new second-hand, to potentially see if that works. Now, it's not running obviously, so I can't really test it at the moment, but I know this new pump works. So I've just literally put that up to live and it's running. So we've got to strip that down, put that back in. Hopefully with the relay box on with fuel, it will start running. So strip it down. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame. Yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star. And that is one rebuilt fuel pump for the VN900. So guys, that clip you just saw just then was 6 weeks ago. So in that time, I fractured my foot, I probably lost weight, put on weight, and if I had hair right now, I would have lost that too. She's been fighting me, put it that way, tooth and nail. So it got towards the point of, like you just saw, I've changed the fuel pump, and directly to the battery, to power, it will work. But once you plug it into the bike, it will not. I'm not getting a spark either. I've ended up going on all the forums, I've spoke to everybody on there. I've checked voltmeters, I've checked everything you can possibly think of. But I don't have a bike diagnostic tool like I do with cars. So I thought the best thing to do is I called my local bike shop. They were kind enough to take the bike in. They had it for 3 weeks, bless them. They diagnosed it straight away, and within 2 hours they found out the problem, which was a speed sensor. So they put it on order. 3 weeks later, Kawasaki finally pulled their finger out and sent them the part. Put it on, and it still will not have a spark. So we came to an agreement, me and the garage, is we would go to a certain number of hours and then we'll just call it quits, or we'll just speak about it. We eventually got to about 5 or 6 hours, and they rang me up and said, look, we've traced absolutely everything, we've checked absolutely everything. The only thing it can possibly be, they even got towards the point of contacted Kawasaki and they came to the same conclusion, it can only now be the ECU. So that is where we are at the minute. So the ECU now has gone off to get checked, because I checked to see how much a new ECU was. We're talking over £300. So I found a place that will actually diagnostic the ECU, so that's where it is at the moment. So that was going to cost me £50. If they can, if they do find something, then what will happen from there is they can end up repairing it, which would be potentially cheaper than a new one, and it will come with warranty. So that's probably the best place to be so far. So that is going to bring us to the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. I am praying that when the ECU comes back, it will actually fire up, but you're going to have to wait till that next video, because I didn't want to hold this video any longer, guys. I wanted you to actually now meet Project Bobber, my Kawasaki VN900, which I have cranked it over. She sounds absolutely amazing, so I don't think there is a problem with the engine, but I'm not going to put any more money into it until I get it to run. If she doesn't run, then obviously it scraps the project. But like I say, that's going to be on the next video. So like I say, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Put some comments down below, guys, of what you think of Project Bobber, what you think I should do to it if it runs. Like I say, it is going to be a lot of custom's going to go into it potentially if it runs, like different paints and things like that. Put some comments down below of what you think I should do to it. And like I say, hit like, hit subscribe to keep up more future content, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Stay safe. See you later. Ta-da.